Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to this league. We have another division previewing this upcoming season. My name's JD. I hope you enjoyed the Pacific preview. We've got the Atlantic division today, and it's just really good shit, man. I'm in a tank top today. It's still 100 degrees in Arizona. This is my second week going to the gym in a row, so naturally the tank is going to come out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm still barrel chested, big tummy. But yeah, I don't know why I thought about sharing that with you. Kind of sounded douchey, but here we are, and here we go to the Atlantic Division. This league is what we're calling this podcast right now. But we're gonna start with the champs. First in the East, first in the division, first in the entire NBA. The Boston Celtics finished last year 64-18. Fucking insane year. Truly. It wasn't close. None of it was close. They walked through the regular season, gave their guys resting days, and fucking blew everyone out. Kind of walked through the playoffs, more or less walked through the playoffs, walked through the Mavs in the NBA Finals. Sorry, Luka. Luka, real quick, they asked him where he would go to college if he went to college, and he said University of Arizona. Falls right in line, dude. It's a little early, but I'm getting ready for my Luka hate. If you don't know, I'm an ASU guy, Suns fan, Arizona guy. Arizona the state guy, not the school, not University of. But Arizona State guy, Suns guy. The Mavs are a bunch of bitches sometimes. I thought we got over it a little bit. I respect Luka's game. I was also one of the first people to Luka. Let me say that. I thought the Suns should have drafted him. That's in the past now. I'm glad we didn't. But he said he would have gone to U of A. So, you know what I say to that? 4-1 Celtics in the finals. And going off of that, they're defending their title. It's going to be tough. Back-to-back is not easy. But they're the heavy favorite in Vegas right now at plus 250 on DraftKings. The other two teams in the division are third and fourth best odds. The Sixers at 850 and the Knicks at plus 900. We're going to get to them next. But we're going to start off with just Jayson Tatum in general. We're going to start off with these headlines, right? He, luckily, the Celtics just had their media day, as yesterday, I think, as I was prepping for this. So, a lot of material there. Someone asked him if he was sad or whatever about the Olympics, and he's playing it cool. You know, he's acting like it hasn't affected him at all. He did say it mentioned him a little bit at the time, or it affected him a little bit at the time, but which you could see when he subbed into the game right after everyone freaked out and just shot a 3-pointer off the side of the backboard. But you know, he's playing it a little cool. I don't know if I would necessarily like it more though if he was like, yeah, man, I'm out to prove people wrong. I think that might be a little bit better of a reaction than what he's doing. He's kind of just playing it cool, yeah, we're the champs, this, that, ready to ball out. And he's 27 years old. His trainer came out today and was like, Jordan hadn't won shit, LeBron won one, Steph hadn't won shit when they were all 27, and Tatum has won and has had probably a lot more success, or just as much as all those guys up until age 27. So it is fucking a unique spot for Tatum. I think this is kind of a very important career year for him in a way. But yesterday at Media Day, he gave this quote: Joe Mazzulla was probably the happiest that I didn't win Finals MVP and didn't play a lot in the Olympics. I love just how the narrative and how everyone knows it's not hidden anymore, just how much of a psycho Joe Mazzulla is. Subtly and not so subtly just mentioning how crazy Joe Mazzulla is. Joe Mazzulla is just drooling at people disrespecting his players so that he can fucking use that and like shit talk his own players and like get them to play better. This narrative about Jayson Tatum, though, like I said earlier, slightly affected him. I don't know how he'll respond, like with his game. I mean, we know how he's responded in the media at media day, playing it off, playing it cool, playing it classy, whatever. But how will he respond playing? I think that's up in the air. I don't think he's gonna take a step down though. No, he will not take a step down. We're forgetting he was first team All NBA last year. Like, the kid is a hooper. He knows how to play in the NBA. He's a baller. But it's like, will he genuinely fucking be a lot better? Maybe. I don't think he'll be worse. I think his floor is like very high, given he doesn't get hurt or anything. He also, when asked about if those experiences, not winning the Finals MVP and not playing in the Olympics, gave him any motivation, he said, "I'm not going to give anyone credit specifically for giving me motivation coming into the season." You know, he's not saying fuck everyone, I'm going to prove you guys wrong. He's saying I'm not giving anyone credit, which kind of just at least kind of feels like a rollover attitude, but also he's not really, and never has really been a rah guy. He's like always been super chill. So this is the way that he reacts. You got to respect it. The biggest concern is how the narrative will affect him again. Will he have the dog to step up, or will he just kind of be normal? I think it'll be very similar to last year, like I said earlier. Jaylen Brown, though, in a weird way, I think Jaylen Brown has more motivation than Tatum, like getting left off of the Olympic roster, that back and forth he had with Grant Hill. He was tweeting about how he didn't get selected to the team, and then Grant Hill was talking about the conspiracy that they didn't choose Jaylen Brown because of Nike. And then Jaylen Brown was like, "Grant Hill calling me a conspiracy theorist is disappointing. I've been a VP since I was 21 years old. I have a great understanding." Jaylen Brown is going to be on his shit this year. Like, even if Tatum does take a step back, Jaylen Brown, I think, Jaylen Brown's probably has a good chance to be first team All NBA. Like, he won Finals MVP, Eastern Conference MVP, NBA champion, and he like didn't get selected to the Olympic team under Derek White and Drew Holiday and then his boy JT. That shit's crazy. I think he responds in a bigger fashion than JT. JT plays like he doesn't care. Deep down, you know he does. Jaylen Brown doesn't give a fuck if you know or not. He already told everyone he cares. And yesterday he was talking about how when they play the Pistons, they give guys like Peyton Pritchard and Joe Hauser 30 because they know they're going to win. Like, he's already on that cocky Boston Celtics shit. That's the other thing with Tatum. Like, he's in Boston. I even if he was acting cocky, the national media might take it one way, but all of Boston would be like, "Yes, bro. We want you to kill them." Like, it's going to be fucking crazy. Oh, here it is. He said, at night we playing, and I don't mean to disrespect them, the Detroit Pistons, who have struggled over the last year or two. We're going to play through Peyton. Let him go for 30. Play through Sam. Let him shoot 10 threes. We're still going to win the game. And that's literally what they did, bro. They were sitting like Brown and Porzingis one game. And the next game, they'd sit Tatum and Holiday. Like, they were just taking turns letting these other guys go. And Mazzulla is so smart. Like, he's building up these guys' confidence so that when they get to the playoffs, they are hooping. And so, you know, I think it's great. Side note, Jayson Tatum's new shoes are sick, so maybe that'll give him all the boost that he needs, you know. They got like these lava fucking canals of color. They fucking look so cool. If I was hooping a lot, I'd think about getting those, bro. But their depth chart last year to this year, the only thing that really changes was that they added Lonnie Walker, which is kind of actually low-key fucking really good. let me say that again. It's kind of actually low-key fucking really good. That's the category of moods that I would put that in. Lonnie Walker is a go-getter. He's an athlete. He's fast. He's physical. He's a freak. And I think Mazzulla is going to get the most out of him. He's a nice plug-in for if they do have to sit Tatum or Brown, or if anyone in the rotation is hurt. Like, I think he could plug into this lineup fucking easily and ball. And he probably is going to be a big part of the rotation, but he's almost like Jaylen Brown Jr. or something. Not that he's a junior or anything like that, because Lonnie Walker is like 6'6" or something, but like he kind of plays like JB with like a little less like pretty to his game. Like JB has handles, has a little bit more of a jumper, but physically, defensively, like getting the ball and going and like getting to the cup, they're kind of similar. So I actually really fucking love it. They're gonna ball the fuck out. Other players that we need to mention though, Porzingis, he had off-season surgery on a tendon in his left ankle, the same one that had him sitting a bit in the playoffs. Could return as soon as December, which, quote, would be on the early side of his 5 to 6 month recovery period. He got surgery in June, so that's why he's put around there. Right now, though, they're all really happy with where he is. He's running. He's doing workouts with a little bit of contact. The biggest question, will he stay healthy? Because if he's not healthy, that takes a big hit. But Tatum and Brown are a good enough duo to get them through a lot of teams. Will he stay healthy, man? I hope so, but he's already coming in hurt. He's hurt all the time. It's just like, it's almost like he's going to get hurt. It's just a matter of the timing of when he gets hurt. Like, honestly, if he gets hurt sometime in February and he's held out until May and then he comes back and plays the playoffs and the finals, like, that's honestly a successful season. So we'll see what happens with that. Just really quick, I wanted to mention Baylor Scheierman, their rookie out of Creighton. This shit went viral on Twitter yesterday. It's a picture of him on senior night, which was like in February or March. And then it was him yesterday at Media Day. And the difference is astounding. This guy has turned into a literal Boston movie character in months, in like 6 months. It is fucking awesome. I didn't know and I know that's him because of that tattoo, but it honestly doesn't even look like him. But it's him. And fucking Gaz from Barstool, if you don't know who he is, that's okay. He said he went from Omaha to Dorchester in 4 months. Boston's gonna love him, bro. Boston's gonna love this guy because he's a shooter. He's almost like, honestly, if you put Peyton Pritchard and Joe Hauser together and like mixed them in a lab. Like that's Baylor Scheierman, honestly. Good guard, handle the rock, shoot the shit out of the ball, and he's 6'6" as well. So like, they got depth out there, bro. They got depth, and I'm sure when they play the Pistons, Baylor Scheierman's gonna drop like a 30 piece on them. But it's all optimistic for them. Like with Joe Mazzulla at the helm, they will be contending for another title. Like everything else is white noise. The Olympic noise, the finals MVP noise, The fact of the matter is, they're bringing back the same team that won a chip last year, plus Lonnie Walker, plus the town star character Baylor Scheierman, and they're going to be a fucking problem. Like, that's really it. And then Joe Mazzulla is going to remind them that that's the case. So, next up, the Knicks. They finished second in the Atlantic Division, second in the East. Add Mikal, lose Hartenstein. They also added Campaign, but I don't think he'll have too much impact. the Knicks went through a few different versions of themselves last year. They had Julius, they lost Julius by the playoffs. They added OG, and just looking at the playoff version of the Knicks, analyzing that and comparing this season to that, it's more or less the same. If you were to take out Hartenstein and put Julius Randle in, that's the team. And look, Hartenstein's a fucking great role player, played hard. But if you ask 10 people, I think 10 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10, because there are a lot of dumbasses on this planet, would pick Randle over Hartenstein. I don't think there's anyone or very few people that would pick Hartenstein over Randle. Now, I know Hartenstein was better for the role, but Randle is Julius Randle still, man. He's the X factor for them this year. They're starting the year off without Mitchell Robinson. He's going to be out until December or January. Julius Randle only played 46 games last year, but it's going to be interesting watching him plug back in. I like Julius Randle, so I'm hoping that he is, how fucking old is he? He's probably like 28, 29. Like, I hope he's mature enough to want to play a role, because a lot of shots are going to go to these fucking wings. The Villanova Knicks, right? Brunson, Mikal, DiVincenzo. Then they got Hart and OG as well. So I think Randall's going to have a chance to get like 20-something a game, but if they want to win some big games, some key matchups against the Celtics, against the Sixers, who I'm going to talk about in the second, Randall's going to have to play a little dirty, get his hands dirty, I should say, for these first few months until they get Mitchell Robinson back. But until he's back, their bigs are Randall, Precious, who I'm high on, but is a little undersized and whatever. They have Jericho Sims, and then they're going to play Hart at the 5 a lot. But Hart's there as well. They have Marcus. They just picked up Marcus Morris. But at least for the first part of the year, we'll see how they do with no depth at the 5. But their wing power is so great that like it'll probably counteract it. They just might get burnt playing some super skilled bigs like Embiid or Jokic or Sabonis or whoever the fuck, Bam, might cook them. But then again, the Knicks wings might overpower the Heat's wings. We'll see how that goes. But another thing with Randall is that it's Brunson's team now. There's no debating it. So the egos is what I'm most concerned about between Randall and Brunson. I know they like each other, but let's just see how that goes, with Mikal, Dante, etc. They have a lot of scoring options. I would like to see a little more shooting, but DiVincenzo and Mikal and Josh Hart as kind of like their spot-up shooters in certain situations is fine. Them being ahead of the Suns, though, in the finals odds, NBA champs odds, is I'm taking a personal mental note of that. But shout out the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks. Next up is the Sixers. The 76ers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 76ers. 6 76ers. However that song goes. Finished third in the division. 7th in the East. Won a big chunk of last year without Joel. Not a big chunk. Last little bit, though. And yeah, they have a completely revamped team, and I think it's going to be better than last year. They lose Tobias Harris, DeAnthony Melton, Batum, and then Morris, Paul Reed, and Mo Bamba, but they add Paul George, they add Caleb Martin, they add Andre Drummond, they add Yabusele, guy who yammed on LeBron, so that's great for them. Eric Gordon and Reggie Jackson. Look, that is really good right there. That's really good. A full season. Well, I think this is a tremendous turnover that they have. They have a chance to win it, I think, or challenge Boston, I should say. But a full season where Tyrese Maxey, coming off of last year, just gets to rock with the rock. And I don't think Paul George is going to get in his way too much. Paul George is an older guy. I don't like Paul George, but I think he's like the perfect sort of wing piece that they could have added next to him and Embiid just to have that third level of scoring. He's running the fucking show, though. Maxey is. And can he distribute at a high level? We'll see how rounded out his point guard skills are. We know he's got quickness, he's got speed, he's a bucket. Can he organize and get everyone set, etc.? I have a hot take. This wing combination of Oubre, PG, and Caleb Martin is just as good, if not better, than Mikal, OG, and Hart or DiVincenzo, or really any combination of three of those guys. Oubre is severely underrated. I absolutely dislike PG, but this fit on the fit on this team is awesome. I think Oubre, PG, and Caleb are going to give the Knicks hell. Like, the way that they all can defend, the way that they're all athletes, the way that they are all dogs is severely underrated. Mikal, OG, Hart, DiVincenzo, those are the guys that are getting the fame right now. Those are the guys getting all the notoriety and being talked about. But Oubre is a former fucking top recruit, top draft pick, has been a bit of a journeyman, but is a hooper, man. On paper, the Knicks have better guys, but I think when they're playing, the Sixers are going to surprise some people with those three. I think those three is one of the strongest, three-wing combos in a lineup that you could have. It's going to be awesome watching them play, as much as I dislike PG. Embiid is going to have a fantastic year. I hope he stays healthy enough to make the 65-game requirement for the All-NBA stuff, because looking back at the All-NBA teams and not seeing him on any was kind of sad. You know, that you think that rule is great because you're going to get people to play, but then when a guy like Embiid gets injured after the year he was having last year, you're just like, maybe we can, set aside the rule for one guy for a second. Last year, though, was the year that first time, I know Joel Embiid's great. I knew he was fucking awesome. But last year, watching him was the most in awe I've been watching him. I think that version of him last year was fucking on an absolute tear. MVP, in the bag until he got hurt. And I think, honestly, the 65-game All-NBA or NBA awards stuff kind of got to him. I think they forced him to play when they probably should have sat him. Ended up losing him for a month or so at the end of the year, and it was whatever. But I think Embiid's going to have a good year. He got a 3-year, $192 million extension that takes him through 28-29, so the next 5 years, which means that he's set. He's 30. With his size and injuries, I don't see him making it past 5 years. So, congrats to Embiid. He's a Sixer for life. Big ups to him. I think Embiid is 30 right now. I think if Embiid, and a 35-year-old Embiid is you're going to find him in the Museum of Natural History. His bones is like a fucking fossil. He's going to be a dinosaur by 28, 29. Respectfully. I like Embiid, but my God, dude. He's too big and strong and powerful, and he's too much of a brute to make it past 5 more years. I think their matchup with the Celtics is going to be more competitive. I hope to goodness we see them in the playoffs. So Sixers I am high on. I'm probably higher on the Sixers than I am the Knicks, and that's just me being honest. Lastly, not very exciting, last couple teams, though. It's spooky season for these guys. The Nets finished 4th in the division last year, 11th in the East at 32-50. It's spooky season. You know, they have a frisky roster because of the vets that they have. They have Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Bojan Bogdanovic, Schroeder. You know, they just re-signed Claxton. Cam Thomas is a young piece that they'll have. So they're going to be frisky. And then lastly, they're not going to be good, but they're going to be frisky. And I think at the trade deadline, they're going to trade all those guys away for young guys. I will say that they are the perfect trade partner for a competing team who needs one of those guys, a backup point guard, a shooter, 3-and-D guys. You know, they're the perfect trade partner for that. But the biggest question mark, Ben Simmons, fully cleared, ready to start training camp, fully healthy, ready to go. I have to see it to believe it. But I will say I might be the only person also rooting for the guy. You know, mental health is fucking serious. As someone who's dealt with it, who's had major low points, who, you know, sympathized with, you know, him wanting to step away from certain things. Maybe he didn't handle it greatly, but, you know, when you're in that sort of state of mind, you don't handle a lot of things greatly. So I had a lot of sympathy for him. I never liked how Stephen A. and other people spoke about Ben Simmons or Kyrie or Simone Biles on the mental health stuff. You just don't really understand. If you don't understand, you don't understand, if that makes sense, you know. But him being fully cleared, healthy, and ready to start, I love to hear it. Will it help this team? No, they're bad. they're not going to be in the playoffs. They're going to trade everyone for a Cooper Flag, but I'm happy to see Ben Simmons out there, and I'm rooting for him, you know. The Cooper Flag sweepstakes will begin the second that they trade some of their people, which could be next week. It could be December, could be February, could be today. I don't know, but moving along here. Lastly, the Raptors at 25-57, 5th in the division, last place, 12th in the East. Another spooky team. Not quite as spooky because when you look at them, you just know that they're young. They're not super bad, but they are certainly building towards the future. They have Emmanuel Quickley, who's has 5 more years on his deal. RJ Barrett, 3 more years on his deal. Scottie, who has this year and then last year of his rookie deal, and then a 5-year extension that is already in place after this year. So their best 3 players are going to be here for at least 3 to 5 years. They have Grady Dick, you know, around them. The only veteran they have is Jakob Poeltl. They have Kelly Olynyk as well, but they have Davion Mitchell, Jacoby Walter, the rookie, Bruce Brown as well. But they are selling this team, moving to the future. They might be fun to watch here and there, but it's going to be interesting to see how they build it. I like where they could be in the future, but right now, this season is just whatever for them. Quickley, RJ, and Scottie as your young core is really good. Could be way fucking worse, right? And like I said earlier, they have their contracts all set up. With Scottie Barnes, though, I personally love Scottie. One of my favorite young players. Loved him in high school before he even went to Montverde when he was in Florida, just like dreads, like fucking just being a freak out there, just like the biggest, most athletic, like skilled guy ever. But I like him. I like what he's shown in the NBA, but long term, like I don't see Scottie being the number 1 player on a championship contending team. I think his skill set is better used as a 20, 10, and 10 guy, locking down the best player on the other team and affecting the game everywhere, as opposed to like making him go for 30. I just don't think him going for 30 is his game, even though he is capable of scoring 30 on a night-to-night basis. But we've seen what it takes to get to that next level. The Celtics, for example, 1A, 1B, Tatum and Brown. I don't think Scottie has the same skill level or even close to as those guys. And now Scottie is super young still, but like Scottie, I think with the Raptors, they got to go find a 1A guy. That him and Scottie and another guy can ball out. I think he's a potential like best second or third guy in the league type of player, as opposed to the number one guy on the team. He's like the number one guy if it's a bad team, or he could be the number two or third guy on like the best team ever. So that's just kind of like my personal little opinion on Scottie. But the Raptors not gonna have much to worry about. It'll be cool seeing what Emmanuel Quickley can do. Maybe he can step up a little bit. He's going to have to with the way that their fucking roster is shaped. But rooting for him for sure. I still like RJ. Like I liked him at Duke. New York just didn't work out. New York's better for it. I think he's better for it too. Has a chance to establish something long term in Toronto. He's from Canada. And yeah. So that is it. That's the Atlantic Division preview. Once again, my name's JD. Love you. See you next week. Like, subscribe, all that shit.